Actually, Philly was the first capital.
Oh, honey, no. Wait, did you just have that on your phone?
It's time to mix it up.
Do it, Dad. Yeah, do it.
There are thousands of ways into the complex healthcare system.
It was frozen.
Daddy's hand looks funny.
And choosing United Healthcare can help make it simpler by letting you know when your claim has been processed.
Yo, Adrienne.
Still not funny.
United Healthcare.
Hello, I'm Amanda Alkatib with United Healthcare Community Plan. I'm here with Stephanie Esters, also from United Healthcare Community Plan. Stephanie is a nurse with United Healthcare Community Plan, and we will be speaking today on adolescence, the teenage years, what we can expect, the growth pattern of our teenagers, and Stephanie is our subject matter expert here to talk about some of the issues and expectations about teenage growth and development. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, teenagers, boys and girls.
Boys and girls. An interesting time and a challenging time.
Yes, that we both have personal experience with.
Yes.
I know you have a couple teenagers. You know, you've gone through those years with them.
Yes.
I'm currently going through them. So what type of changes occurred during this young person's life? What can they expect as far as health and wellness and changes during teenage years?
There's a lot of changes that occur, and they occur at a pretty rapid pace for the adolescents. But we can see changes of adolescent period for girls as early as age 9 and for boys as early as age 11. And so what you have to consider is that not only is their body changing, but their mind is changing. And oftentimes their friends and their social life will change as well. And so we will see like growth spurts that occur. Their skin may become oily. There's body
That
fat.
acne showing up.
Acne showing up. And that's
Mhm.
a special time for the parents to communicate with their child, their care and concern, and get them the products that they need. Oftentimes you can resolve it with over-the-counter products, but keep in mind it's also a good time to kind of make changes in your diet if you weren't eating so healthy, and teenagers like to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing.
Yes.
To stay away from all the bad foods that cause acne.
Yes, and replace some of those sugary sweet drinks with a lot of water. Drink a lot of water because your body is changing and it needs those nutrients and water to, you know, grow and become more of a better appearance.
And have some clearer skin.
Yes.
They're drinking lots of water.
Yes, yes. And if your child is one that wants to exercise and work out, the body is adjusting to that as well as it's trying to grow. So you need to really focus in on your diet, drink lots of water because it's trying to make the positive changes that is normal for a child at that age. And then your overall health will dictate how well and when these changes occur. So if you're really healthy, you'll have the changes on target, and your hormones will surge, which will dictate the acne and the oily skin and the body fat and other changes that occur in the males and females. But it also can cause some mood changes, which are a big adjustment in the home if you have a teenager.
Yeah, which requires lots of additional patience from mom and dad.
Yes, and understanding that you were in that time, you went through that time frame at one time or another, and that it's a mentally the child doesn't know what's going on, but they're trying to master it, and it's not always easy.
A funny thing my daughter always says is, be more patient with me. My brain's not fully developed.
Right.
That's her excuse these days.
Right, right.
So, expanding on that, regarding the thinking and the mindset of the adolescent and what they're going through, and it's sort of a limited mindset. You know, the
Sure.
world sort of centers around a teenager, and it's hard for them to expand, you know, and look at things a different way. What do you
Sure.
think that they can do to expand and sort of explain their limits of thinking right now during
Sure.
these formative years?
So up to this time, basically they're thinking more concretely. And so now they're starting to think logically and more globally. And during that time, that's when you may find there's some verbal challenges, if that's occurring in your home. Because they are thinking differently and more broadly, they may feel more comfortably in discussing and challenging the topics that have been discussed at home and how they have different views on them now based on, you know, peer pressure and things they're picking up on in the media. During the school time, they're going to be taking on more work, more complicated work, and that can be stressful for them and make it stressful for the parents at home as well. So keep in mind you may need to get tutoring or some support if the pace of the work that's changing is going too fast for the child. And also, if the child is struggling in school, that will have a direct impact on how they feel about themselves. So think about it. You have changes in your body, which is obvious to everyone. You're trying to adjust and accept it. And then maybe there's some things in school that aren't going really well, and that can make you feel even worse. And you're already adjusting to the other things that you don't have any control over.
So they have a lot on their plate.
Yes.
They have to deal with, you know, all kinds of things these days, from social media and bullying, peer pressure.
Yes.
But there are solutions, and there is help for the kids to receive either through school or, you know, hopefully get them involved in sports or other activities.
Yes.
Part-time jobs are good options to keep kids busy and on the right path to better growth and development.
And one thing you mentioned about social media, and that we always have to keep in mind that we don't have control over the social media, but the social media does have sometimes a sad impact upon a child. It can make them sad or disappointed in the way they've become, you know, just in natural day-to-day growth and changes. And so you have to keep that in mind and check with your child and see how they're doing emotionally on a regular basis, because there are other factors that can impact how they're feeling about themselves.
Yeah, and
during
so
this
much goes
phase.
on behind the scenes on the, you know, their cell phones that we don't see, and they really don't want us to see.
Right.
So, but we have to stay on top of that. But that's very challenging for mom and dad to be able to, you know, take the time to oversee. So it's, you know, that's a challenge in itself.
Yes.
Just to have that oversight.
They don't want us babying them,
Yeah.
but they do want us to give them some direction. And so keeping an open line of communication is
Yes.
very key during this time, even though they want to feel more independent because they're thinking differently and feeling differently. It's still a
Yes.
time to keep a strong relationship and keep it growing.
Absolutely. I feel like teenagers need as much care as new babies, you
Yes.
know, just a different kind of care, but still need all that oversight and, you know, make sure you know where they are and who they're hanging out with,
Sure.
and, you know, just to stay on the right path, the right healthy path of growth and development.
And those are the kind of things that the doctor will assess and talk to the parents about. So when you have a teenager, it's not the time to stop visiting the doctor, but it's the time to make sure the visits are occurring as scheduled. And if they're sick, definitely take them to the doctor. The doctor should be reviewing the changes that will be coming. They'll forecast. They'll also discuss some safety tips that need to occur while the child is at home or away from the home with friends, and kind of talk to parents through some things they may not have anticipated or planned, you know, for their child to be involved in or something. So if you go to the doctor, that is their role and responsibility to be the first line of defense in forecasting what's going to occur for your teenager.
So how often should an adolescent teenager be going to the doctor for a well check?
Sure. You should go every year for a complete physical exam. And when you go for a complete physical exam, oftentimes if the child has an elevated blood pressure or an elevated cholesterol, and they can kind of get them back on a healthy path, those things can be detected and picked up prior to them becoming an adult and becoming a pregnant mom, and just, you know, giving them healthy habits to take with them along the way so they can feel good about themselves and feel good throughout the day.
It's a good time perhaps to schedule an appointment around your birthday every
Yes.
year, so that, you know, every year your birthday rolls around, you
Sure.
know that, oh, it's time to see the doctor again.
Sure.
So once a year you should see your pediatrician.
Yes, and with United Healthcare Community Plan, we pay for the visit. We pay for all the tests that need to occur. And if you have to have additional visits, we cover those costs as well. So don't hesitate to make the appointment for fear that you may have to pay a bill or something out of pocket.
Great point. With many, many doctors to choose from, you know, you can go through our direct website, United Healthcare Community Plan, go to the site and go to find a doctor. Just put in your zip code or your city, and you'll see many, many options for pediatricians or any other type of specialty you or your child may need. So, adolescents and teenagers present a challenge that
Sure.
can be definitely managed.
Yes.
So we'll come upon our last question. What can we expect socially as far
Okay.
as behavior from adolescents?
Sure. So prior to this period, the child is pretty clingy to the family, really likes time with the family and their siblings, and they tend to be drawn to groups. So they'll find a group that they feel like they fit in and they can be accepted with because they really want to be accepted. And that's a time when they tend to pull away from the family. They may pull away from the parents and may not want to be as close or share as much. But it's still a time for you to keep that relationship as strong as possible,
Yes.
so you can continue to guide your teenage through these challenging years. They don't have to be difficult, but challenging years.
Yeah.
And the family relationship may change, whereas they may want to do more activities with their friends and less with the family, and we've all experienced that. And they may want to experiment with different things, good or bad. And at this time, they need to learn about consequences because they're approaching the age where it becomes a legal matter. If something happened and they're an
Yes.
adult, then they're handled a little differently.
And there won't be that protection of mom
Yes.
and dad once they hit a certain age.
Sure.
So we need to get as much in there in their teenage years
Yes.
as we can.
Yes. So when they're approaching the later teenage years, that's a time when you want to make sure they're healthy and they're safe physically and mentally, and those are the kind of things the doctor can discuss with you at the visit.
Okay, wonderful. So a yearly well check
Yes.
for every adolescent
Yes.
is a definite must-have.
Yes. So the doctor will discuss shots that are needed, discuss the diet, even talk to the child about their grades. I'm sorry, the adolescent teenager.
Yes.
About their grades, and which they know oftentimes could have something to do with their emotional state, on how well they do at school. And so visiting the doctor is a very important time in their life as well.
And that's how it's the right time where issues come up, how to catch them and be proactive and work on them if there's
Sure.
anything that needs assistance during this really formative time.
And the shots that they receive are often the meningococcal shot. It's one that is good for those kids that are active and they're in large group settings and they're close together,
Yes.
because that disease can be picked up easily by being close to each other.
Yes.
And so those are the kind of things to keep in mind. And the Tdap is a good shot because pertussis is one condition that can harm a really young baby that hasn't had their immune system built up for having those ample shots yet. So those are the kind of things to keep in mind. And there's the HPV shot that
Yes.
is available, and we cover all of those shots. There's no cost to the family or to the adolescent.
So that'll be an automatic thing that happens during the well checks
Yes.
according to the schedule.
The doctor should make recommendations and should have those vaccines stored on site, and they're covered by the insurance plan.
Very good. Thank you very much, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
United Healthcare Community Plan has great advice. If you'd like more information regarding your children, we have a great website for healthy advice you need from a source you can trust and get healthy facts right at your fingertips. We have a specialized website. It's uhccommunityplan.com/mikids. For parents, you can get answers to questions like, is it a cold or is it a flu? How can we keep our child healthy? How can I talk to my child about changes in their body? Kids and teenagers can also go on this website. They can ask questions. They'll find all kinds of good information on there, like for kids, what time should my bedtime be? Can I play sports if I have asthma? Plus, you'll find fun activity sheets and see movies about how the body works and more. And more importantly, for teens, they can see and view questions on there about what kind of healthy food can I have at fast food restaurants? How can I do my best on test exams? And you can get guidelines on tough topics like sexual health, substance abuse, and divorce. So again, thank you so much for watching. We are United Healthcare Community Plan. You can reach us at 1-800-903-5253. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
No problem.
Actually, Philly was the first capital.
Oh, honey, no. Wait, did you just have that on your phone?
It's time to mix it up.
Do it, Dad. Yeah, do it.
There are thousands of ways into the complex healthcare system.
It was frozen.
Daddy's hand looks funny.
And choosing United Healthcare can help make it simpler by letting you know when your claim has been processed.
Yo, Adrienne.
Still not funny.
United Healthcare.